Okay, this is Mr. Wolverton. I am teaching morning and afternoon. For the first 6 weeks, it will be botany, which is a biological science about plants in the morning, and math of finance first semester in the afternoon. Second through six weeks, that will change, and I may or may not update this. For the first part of class, this is the administrative portion of your class. You will get a grade for participating and turning in the documentation. First thing you need to do is what is showing on the screen is the administrative paperwork that you're going to fill out. If you go into Moodle, there is actually a administrative paperwork quiz per se, and I only did that so it gives me a grade that you can find on there. First section is at the top of the page. It talks about grades for this class. The grades will consist of 25% of your total grade for this class will be in tests. For the most part, except for the student handbook quiz, which you will do today or tomorrow at the latest, the tests will all be chapter tests. And that's only on completed chapters. I do not believe in cumulative tests. So if it's not covered in the chapter, I'm not going to go back to a previous chapter just to give you a test. If we finish the test literally the last day of the class, I'm not going to give you a test on it because you didn't have a chance to study. So tests are just for a completed chapter. Okay. So that's tests. Daily work, projects, and notebooks is going to be 50% of your grade. Daily work would be handouts I give you, the vocabulary, the worksheets, science skills in the botany class. Daily math worksheets, which you're going to get at least 2 a day, one before break and one after break. Projects would be like labs in botany class, things like that, or some other worksheets we may do. In the math class, and maybe the botany, we'll see, you will have a notebook grade. It's going to be relatively large. It's going to be 5 to 6% of your total grade. Employability is 25% of your grade, and employability will be twofold. Part of it, the majority of it, is going to be 25 points a day, Monday through Thursday, so you get 100 points a week, and it's going to be your paycheck for just being in school or touching base online if we have to go to online learning. You're going to get it no matter what. It's yours. Take it, do with it, whatever. You may lose employability points, and we're going to go over that in a second in the deductions. The other part of employability is also going to be class discussions. When we cover a topic, we start talking about seedless plants, and we start talking about what are their properties, what are their characteristics, what are they, who are they. In the math, we start talking about time cards. We participate as a class in the discussion. I will observe you while we're doing this, and as long as you participate, you get the points. If you are sleeping or dozing off or talking to each other, non-class related, you won't get the points. So those are all your employability points. Now the deductions, and again, you can look at the list. Unexcused absences, if we're in class, the unexcused absences, you are not here and you don't have a reason for not being here. You just didn't show up. And you don't have any documented proof as to why you're not here. That would be. Now, if we go to online learning, we will have it where you have to touch base, and we will have designated times to touch base. At current, we're thinking of using the Microsoft Teams, which is a online learning. You don't necessarily have to have a camera. If you have a laptop with a camera, it would be greatly appreciated if you use it that way. Some of the laptops we have in class will have cameras. You can also use your cell phone, tablets, whatever, not in school, because you're going to be, but that's only if you're not here. You'll have a camera. That would be your employability there. Unexcused absences, you don't meet the requirements. If it is a tardy, Again, we're from now on, unless I specifically say otherwise, we're talking about in school classes. Tardy is if the bell rings and you are not in class, you're tardy. If the bus is the reason you're tardy, just come to class, tell me I'm here, and it won't be counted against you if it's from the bus. Leaving early is just like coming late. So you can have a tardy coming and a tardy going. For the afternoon class, if you get up and leave early before the bell or before the bus, you will be tardy. If you are an hour early or an hour late, it's a 2-hour tardy because we're in class for 3 hours. If I see your cell phone in class and you're talking on it, you're texting on it, you will get points taken and your cell phone taken. You can have it back at the end of class. You do it more than once, and I'll give it to Mr. Blake, and you can get it back from him. If you need to go to the restroom for some reason, as long as it's not during rush hours, not for another class's break time, and you're not doing it constantly, ask and I'll let you go. If you just stand up and leave on your own without asking, you can lose the points. That's just getting up and leaving the class without permission. You're going to lose points. Not cleaning up your work area. Because of the COVID-19, when you get here in the morning or in the afternoon, or you get here at the beginning of class, we're all going to clean our workstations, and then just before you leave for the day to go to lunch or go home, you're going to clean your workstations again. That's cleaning up. We're going to pay attention to that. If you don't follow safety protocols, you don't have a mask, or you don't wear the mask properly, or you go stand next to your friend and breathe in their face, or you violate any of what the CDC says we should do, those points can be lost also. Safety rules will apply mostly to the science class, the botany, and for the first 6 weeks. If we do a lab, don't do anything that can hurt you. Don't touch a hot lamp. Don't cut yourself. Don't do anything stupid. Follow the rules as written and don't be obvious about breaking them. Bathroom breaks, we already talked about that, as long as you don't abuse it. Language, obscene language or gestures, or using the F word. Guys, use common courtesy. No cussing and no getting rude. Food or drink in class, near computers. Come to class, bring your food to class, but don't put it near the computers, especially drinks. If you tip them over and fall and they spill onto the computers, we may have to get new computers. Can't afford that. Put your stuff on the table as far away from your computer as possible. Throw it in the trash when you're done. Again, COVID-19, make sure everything's good. On your drinks, put them on the tables that are not the computer tables, but the tables that are near the computer tables. That way, if it spills, it'll go down the cracks before it gets to the computer. Sleeping with your head down. Guys, you got a lot of stuff to do in here. Hopefully, you're all enrolled in OdysseyWare. Hopefully, you're all working on your daily work. You're working on your, if you're in my morning class, you're working on afternoon class work. If you're in my afternoon class, you're working on morning class. You got homework you're working on in some of your classes. Whatever. There should be no time you've got time to just go to sleep. Work on something. If you physically got nothing to work on, you don't have any Odyssey assignments to work on, you don't have any assignments to work on from either class, and you ask me ahead of time, and you're passing, I may ignore 1 or 2 minutes of you laying your head down. But other than that, you're going to lose points if you lay your head down and go to sleep. Poor attitude. Guys, everybody's got a bad day. Just live with it and go with it. I mean, and understand it'll work, okay? Destruction of school property. Don't write on my textbooks. Don't mess up stuff. Don't write on my desks more than written on. Don't tear stuff up. Don't unplug the plugs underneath the computers. Don't stick gum on the bottom of the tables. That's destruction of school property. It is vandalism. It's considered against the law. Don't do it. Outside of Thomasine, you shouldn't even have your cell phones out. You do have email on these computers, and you need to be using it for school assignments. No emailing outside school assignments to anybody. Don't go to YouTube. Don't go to Facebook. And Miss Fink knows you're not supposed to be on Facebook. She'll sometimes text, but that's not to use in class. That is to do during your free time. But in class, no YouTube unless it's a video that you cleared with me first, which is school videos. Okay? Excessive talking, guys. I don't mind you talking. I encourage you to talk as long as it's school appropriate. Excessive talking would be we're trying to have a class discussion and you're talking with your buddy and I can't hear myself think. Don't do it. Cheating. You're spread out about as much as we can do for tests and stuff like that. So, and when it comes to worksheets, daily worksheets, I don't mind you working together. Again, you can't be near each other. So, cheating would be pretty obvious. If we do it on the computer, because we have to do distance learning, just do what you can that's not involved with cheating, okay? Using somebody else's computer, once you sign up for a computer, that's yours for the end of the 6 weeks. No other computer, no other chair. That is your computer. Stay on it, no swapping. Dress code violations, that goes with the mask too. You have to wear your mask when you're in close proximity. You have to wear appropriate school attire when you're here. Okay, so that's employability deductions. Okay, reference to attendance. You are allowed to miss 3 unexcused absences for this 6 weeks. You're allowed to miss 6 total, but 3 of those have got to be excused, and the only one that can excuse this in this building is Mr. Blake Thomas. The 3 unexcused, that's it. It's locked in concrete. If you have more than 3 unexcused absences, you fail the class. Okay, stop coming and it'll drop you. If you have extenuating circumstances, we can talk to the boss, but just go with it right now as if you got more than 3, you failed. A tardy is you are not in class when the bell rings, which I already touched on. Okay, so keep that in mind. The math class, and I would suggest you do it also. Keep your binders, keep it in binders, anything I give you, okay? Classroom rules on the back page. Again, you've seen this, just, hey. Follow the rules, guys. No colored pencils. If you're gonna use a pencil, which is great, regular number 2 pencil. Mechanical pencils are great, you can do those, but no colored pencils. No, even if it's black, I can tell it when you write, it's got a softer type of marker, it doesn't write the same way. So number 2 lead on pencils, or any color of ink except for shades of red. No red, no pink, no light purple, okay? Other than that, I don't care, just as long as I can understand it. When I give you a due date on your assignment, like the end of the chapter or the end of the day, assignment is turned in by then, unless you previously checked with me about that. But once that time period is come and gone, that's it. No acceptance. Maybe later, a couple weeks later, I may accept it for a deducted price, deducted points, but we'll have to discuss that on an as-needed basis. If I have a test, and I will always give you a heads up of when the test is going to be, hey, we should finish the chapter by Wednesday. If we finish the chapter on Wednesday, we will be doing the test next day. If you know this going in and you miss the day of the test, you get a 0. There is no makeups. Okay? If it's excused absence and you walk in the door and show me the excused absence, I'm taking the test, I'm taking you, and we're going to go somewhere and you're going to take the test immediately. It's not going to be a wait around and do this. And I've got more than one version of every single test. So I guarantee you, you will not have the same test as the people in class had. Okay. If you look on the last page, this is the part that you're going to turn in, and if you have it on Moodle, there's spots in here to do it. Get your name and date of birth, just kind of interesting to have. Some other information there. I really need to know if you ride the bus or not. That's very important. If you tell me you don't ride the bus and later you start coming in later, leaving early, oh, I gotta ride the bus. Guys, you told me you didn't ride it. There's no way you can do that. So if your situation changes, you need to let me know before I find out and you start skipping. Next section is we're going to do student handbook, which is going to be online for a test. We'll have a discussion, and then you're going to do the actual test. It will count as a half a test grade, but that is found on greatplains.edu, and from there you'll do it's an open book test. So open up the student handbook and use the student handbook to answer the questions for the test. Again, on your handout, you're going to designate either by signature on the paper copy or in the Moodle copy, you're going to designate, hey, I know about this, I know where it is. On my desk in the classroom, there is a manual that says SDS manual, Safety Data Sheet Manual. That is, OSHA requires us to keep a book of that. It's called Right to Know. It's for you if you'd like it, but you're not required to use it. It's there if you have a question. I spilled something on me. What's it going to do? You look it up and they'll tell. Am I going to die? Am I just wash my hands with water? Whatever. That's where you would look. Again, it's on my desk, and that is a requirement. You have to sign that for us as teachers. The very bottom of that handout you have, it's asking, do I know where the employability deductions are? And we already went over some of them, most of them, in fact. That just says you know about it. Again, take this handout, separate it at the staple, keep the first page that's got a print on both sides, and turn in for a grade or upload for a grade the second part, the one that's got all the signatures, the one that has all that stuff. That will be kept as a grade and go into the computer. That will actually be a employability grade, by the way. The only non-participation employability grade. Okay, so that's what I got for you. Need to make sure this gets done. Be surprised how many students can't figure out how come their grade really sucks, because they miss one assignment like this, and later in 6 weeks they get a turn. So this is due by today. If you don't get it today, I will accept it in the future, but I need it turned in. Okay. Place it in the basket. Do not grab anybody else's out of the basket, for the mere fact is we got the COVID-19 thing going. Okay. If you got any questions, please let me know. Thank you very much.